Hello, welcome to Woodsy's Woodshop. This is video number 2, I believe. I probably shouldn't put a number in front of all these because I'll forget. I'm going to try a new thing today I've never done before. I'm going to try and make some dovetail joints, and I'm going to do it with these bits of wood here. So I've got 2 bits of wood. Again, these are just offcuts from the cladding that I put on my shed. It's quite a pinky wood. I don't know what sort it is. Maybe somebody could tell me. I think they probably did tell me when I bought the cladding, but I've forgotten. It's quite nice. It does just fade down to just a normal one. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to use this, and I'm going to try and turn it into just a 4-sided, it might be a box, but it won't have a base at this point. I'm just going to try and do some dovetails and get them 90 degrees and all that sort of thing. Quite difficult, I'm imagining. First job, though, is to get these flat and true, which with just hand tools is not easy. This one you can tell I've sort of tried it out yesterday. This is when I was trying out my new jack plane, which might be a little bit overkill for this, but I'm going to use it anyway because it's new. See the verse video for a little bit more about the jack plane. So I tried it on this one, and it's amazing the difference that a jack plane makes over a smoothing plane. So that's quite cool. So I'm going to start on this one, I think, and then get that one to match this one. This one is bent. Yeah, you see it rocking there. So it's bent like a bow. I suppose that's a bow, is it? That way. So there's a high spot there, or high spots there. Do I take off the ends, or do I take off the middle? Well, I've got to do both, haven't I? Because that... yeah, there's a gap there, and there's a gap at either end. So both sides have got to be leveled, flattened, straightened. But do I start that, or do I start on a face? A little go yesterday, that's smooth there and it's smooth there. So I think I'll start on this face and get the face flat and no twist. Here's a new thing. Paul Sellers, thank you very much. Paul Sellers channel, check him out. These are my winding sticks. They're not like proper nice ones like Paul Sellers makes, but they're just 2 bits of wood that are the same and are parallel, and you put them on. You put them one on that end and one on that end, and then you look to see if there's any twist in the board. So to see if the board is doing that at all. So is that parallel with that? And it's quite a short little piece of board, so it's not a problem. When you get big long planks, it can be a real issue, you know, with the winding sticks. But anyway, I'm gonna start on here. So I'm gonna get this in the vise here, and I've got to be careful of this metal thing here, right? In fact, does it come out? Don't know. I'm gonna try this if I unscrew it up. The trouble is, if I take it out, I might lose it. This is really useful if you want to butt things up against something. You'll see I'll use it at some point. Look, it just comes out. So let's put that back together and put that somewhere safe and nearby. I've got a little pot here. Put that in there. Now I'm not worried about catching that with my plane, because if you catch a metal thing with your plane, you can seriously mess it up. So anyway, that's in. I'm going to start on here. I'm going to put some safety goggles on. Well, yeah, they are safety glasses, but I also use them when I'm riding my bicycle. I'm putting these on because a couple of months ago I was using my circular saw. This is another one of my power tools I haven't mentioned yet. I was using this bad boy, and a bit of wood flew up and hit me right in the eye, and I might put a photo up. It's going to come up in a minute, in a few seconds, so if you're squeamish, skip this bit. Here's a picture of my eye. Yeah, it was quite nasty. I was quite lucky in a way that I didn't go blind, but safety goggles, and if you're using power tools, probably ear defenders. I'm often wearing plugs in my ears, and I've got some over there. Anyway, enough of that. So let's try this. I'll start off like this, and then I'll probably go to a time lapse or something like that, but we'll see. So look at that. That's just taken off. Well, oh, there we go. Wow. that's a big bit. Look at that. So that took a great big slather out of there. Oh, it's so smooth. That's amazing. I've got this blade quite sharp. I was quite pleased with myself. To get some momentum in it, push it quite. Whoa, it's quite good. In fact, it's making really short work of this, so I might not need to do a time lapse. I think that's it. You can see this really lovely pink colour. I wish it would stay. It tends to just fade to something that looks pretty much like pine. So I'm just going to turn it around so I'll get this side. Now, there's also this thing about going against the grain, isn't there? But I'm not. I think because there's a knot there, I think the grain is going that way. I think I should be okay, and this bad boy doesn't seem to care about the grain. Whoa! There's a low bit there, it still hasn't touched that bit. When to stop, that's the thing. Okay, let's see how I've done. I mean, it looks okay. I've got a Work Pro, cheap, but this is a square, so I'm just going to use this to see. Yeah, it's high on each end. Oh, it's good this end, but as I go down there, it's high here and it's high here, because I can see sunlight or daylight through underneath my square. So I need to take off just in this area, there and there. So I'll try that. Sort of from about here. Just do a couple of shavings on it because they're good shavings. That really coming off clean. So let's have a little look now. What's that done? Oh, look. Oh. If anything, I could have just done one, because in fact that's a bit high in the middle now. Oh god. Yeah, look, it's a bit high in the middle. Oh, really rocky there. Can you see it rocking? So I've got to go I'll do one straight through the middle, see what happens. Oh, good shaving. This thing, I love this thing. Honestly, having used this for, a few months, it's great. It's brilliant. Does a great job. But this, whoa, yeah. I'm loving that. Right, let's try. Just one shaving. Let's see. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but that's flat. Now, I've learned that I'm happy with that, I think. Yeah, looks pretty darn flat to me, and it's a lot easier doing it with that than with my smoothing plane. So let's just get rid of that. Lovely shavings. Oh, I like planing. Winding sticks, that's what I've got to do. So let's have a look. So there's on the winding sticks there's a mark to signify the middle, so it's not crucial I don't think, but you get that on there like that, and then hopefully you can see this there like that. You get your head down and you have a look, and I think that it's twisted. I was going to say I think that's pretty good, but it seems to me that it goes high this end. This I can see more of this here than I can of that, so I think it's high there. So I think I've got to take off in this area here, get rid of some of that. Okay, let's have a go. Ooh, let's sort of stop. I've got a crack in the board there as well. Right, that's quite a lot, I think. Let me just do one more right down the end. The thing is that now going to be flat still? Ooh, yeah, that's pretty good. Right, let's check the winding sticks then. Have I made a difference? I don't know. Let's see. Well, it's closer, but it's still not where I want it. So let's keep going. It looks pretty flat still. Oh yeah. So when you sight down from this end, you can see that edge, and as you lower your head, lower your head, they both now disappear at the same time, meaning that is level with that, meaning there's no twist in my board, which is good, I think. Let's have a look. The flatness across the board, and I'm still pretty happy with that. Is it bowed? Yeah, now there seems to be a bit of bow in that edge. This edge I've already had a little go on, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this, yeah, so you go, what do? You go like that, that's face there, and that's going to be the square edge. So this is the face that I work from, that's my reference face. That's the one I've made flat. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to make this face flat first, but also at 90 degrees to that face. So, first of all, let's get it sort of flattish. So let's get that. Let's put this on right at the end. Well, that didn't take off much at all, so that tells you something. I'm just putting my hand on the front here and using this finger as like a guide, keeping it well away from the blade. My hand is catching on there. I'm just trying to not, because it's very easy to just start, you know, putting an angle on this edge. Can you hear? Cut, cut. It's not cutting the middle, which means it's high here and high here. I think that's the theory. Two definite cuts, isn't there? It's not touching that in the middle. So when it gets flat, it should go right across. Ooh. Nope, mucky in there. Yeah, look, that sometimes happens. You get a bit of wood there, and that throws you off. But just clear it. That's better. That's almost all the way along now. It's coming out, look at that. See how that's right across the board? Right across the board. Is that where that phrase comes from? No, it's probably more to do with scoreboards or something, is it? Yeah, nice. Nice. Still not touching the middle. That wasn't a good one. Oh, I twist it. I'm twisting it. Oh. That's my bad. That's gone right across now. That's smooth in the middle. So that means it's flat, was it? Oh yeah, there you go. There it is. That's the first one. Right across. Can you see that? Yeah. All right. Okay. So that means then in theory, that that's flat. That's it. Let's see how it is for 90 degreesiness. Basically, see now I think I've got a hump in my board. Didn't get that right first time. But that's, do you know what, that's pretty good. It's not perfect. Woodworkers out there, does it have to be completely perfect? Because when I put this thing on, I can see little bits of light, little tiny bits of light. Does it have to be totally perfect, or is, you know, pretty darn good? Is that good enough? I don't know. That's the problem. If I push that right up against that, then it leaves a gap. Meaning what? Meaning I've got to take a bit off this corner here, I think. Okay, let's do that then. I took it right across. Ooh, don't like that one. Oh, okay, let's have another look. Oh, did I go too far? All right, okay. I'm gonna say I'm okay with that one. So I'll just put a little. This is my good face then, my good face and my good side, my good edge. Yeah, actually that's pretty good. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, team, I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing now for this face here. So I'm basically working my way around. So that's flat, that's 90 degrees to that. So now I need to get this flat and 90 degrees to that. Okay, sometime later, and I have a board which I think is flat and straight and parallel. It took a while and I made lots of mistakes because one of the things I didn't check while I was checking flatness and I was checking twist, well, actually I wasn't checking flatness because when I did that, there was a high spot and the high spot was where this knot was. So I had to go back and plane off that area there. Can you see all this tear out? Right? It's to do with grain, I know that, but the grain rises here and it rises here and it was rising all over the place. How the hell do you stop that tear out? I don't know, maybe you can't. Let me know in the comments and all that sort of thing. So anyway, what I noticed was that it was thinner here than it was here, so I had to go back and I used my gauge thing and I, did the thing so you get the line, and then so it's now the correct width there, and then I looked on the edge and it was fatter at one end than the other. So the wood was thicker here than it was here, so I had to go back. I don't know if you can see there, I put another line in there to get the width, the thickness correct. So lots of mistakes, and it's not 100% perfect. I mean, it's a little bit out there, but I think it's good enough for me to proceed. So what I'm going to do now is make this bit the same size as this bit. Okay, so my bits of wood there must be different bits because I'm sure this was an offcut of the cladding, the same as that, but they're very different colours. Anyway, so they are pretty flat and pretty the same, certainly good enough. And you can see I've drawn these lines on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and cut some straight cuts to get some straight edges on them, straight ends. So wish me luck with that. All right, so cut the ends off. See, and you may have noticed in the time lapse I was doing these things called knife walls, where you score where the line is, and you can see then. I mean, if I focus a little bit, there you go. See these knife walls here. So I've cut just longer than where I need to be, because now I'm going to use my shooting board, which I've made over here. Again, thank you, Paul Sellers. Everything's Paul Sellers. Shooting board, and I'm going to use this to get a 90-degree. Might not use these super thick blocks. Can't get it out. I've got some smaller blocks, but anyway, use a shooting board and then you put that in there, and that's your 90 degrees, and then you can get that in all 90 degrees. So I'm going to do that now, do that time lapse as well. Okay, so I think bits of wood are as flat and as parallel and as equal as I can get them. So now I'm going to start marking out my dovetail joints. Marking out my dovetail joints, and see if I can cut them, I guess. So I've cut my dovetails. Look, big chunk out of there somehow. Don't remember doing that. I'll have to split that somehow. I don't know. They're a bit rough and ready. They don't look as nice as the ones Paul Sellers did in his video. But there we are. That will do. So now, how do I do this? Oh no, so what I do is I put this here, and then I need something to rest it on. There we go. This is what Paul does. You get that the same height as that. And put that there, and then you can rest that on there. And that. So there we go. That's where that needs to go. So I can now go in here. And that's where I'm cutting my dovetails. My pins, I believe they're called pins. So I'm cutting my pins, and I've got to cut out all of that and leave that. So these are going to be quite thin bits because I've not done very good measurements. Really, these dovetails are too fat. There's not enough pin there, but you know, we're learning. I'm going to go back to time lapse. Okay, I'll put my coat on because it's cold. Look, there you go. So, I mean, it's all a bit wobbly. The thing that always happens, it happened on this piece and this piece, is it kind of tears on this face. Why is that? Is that because my chisels aren't sharp? Because they're blooming sharp, these things. I sharpen them myself. So I don't really know why I'm getting that tear down there. And it always happens whenever I chisel wood, which is quite a lot these days. I'm just going to tidy up a little bit more. Just noticed this is a little bit uneven. Don't want to take too much off, because you can take off but you can't put it back. So just tidying up that edge ever so slightly. That was a big bit. That was a big bit. A big chunk came off. Oh well. Can't put it back now. Just trying to get a flat bottom. I mean, it's not bad, I think. Okay, now we offer this up. Ooh, see, I told you it was sharp. Oh. Hey, listen, 1 out of 2 is not bad on your first attempt. It's literally the first time I've ever made a dovetail joint. How have I done that? Is it... Oh, maybe it's the wrong way round. Is it that one? Is it? No, it doesn't make any difference. Look at the giant gap there! I'm going to have to get... These carpenter pencils are rubbish. I need one with a really fine point, so I need a proper pencil. But look! I mean, apart from the giant gap, that's okay, right? Let's check if it's square. Luckily, there's a bit of playance. As my father would say, a bit of playance. Do you know what? That's okay. Look at that. Alright, I've got 3 more to do. 1, 2, 3. And then you've got to make a bottom somehow. But anyway, there you go. So, first dovetail joint. There you go. Should we finish with a close-up?